Hey guys, welcome to my story time. I just want to share a story with you guys. I want to share how my heartbreak led me to God, how God came through for me during that time. So, I was so broken, in pain so much that I dropped on my knees. I poured out my heart to God. I prayed for healing daily. I prayed to God and I asked Him to put me together, to make me whole again, because emotionally I was a mess. I was such a mess. And I did have like support. I did have people affirming me, and being there for me. But the pain was too deep, eh? So I recently went through a bad breakup. I discovered that things are not what they seemed. I was under the impression that I'm in a committed relationship. I am the only girlfriend. We're doing this, we're in this together, Turns out, little did I know. So what led to the bombs dropping and me finding out everything was that I saw that he was flirting with someone, right? And I decided to confront him about it. In the midst of that, on a random Tuesday evening, he drops a bomb on me and he tells me that, he says to me, remember that girl that I said I would stop talking to? Well, I didn't stop. And he says that he loves both of us and he wants to be with both of us. That day, little did I know that that was nothing compared to what I was about to find out. So this girl, I would call him, right? So much so that I ended up noticing, and he said to me that it's his ex that still needs his support. She has mental issues or whatever, and I told him that I was not comfortable with him talking to her. So he said he would stop. Turns out he didn't. So that night when he was telling me that he's in love with another girl and me and he wants to be with both of us, my heart dropped to my stomach. I probably cried myself to sleep that day. Like, I was so hurt, guys. I was so hurt. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night, like my stomach, like I had a runny tummy. I ended up having diarrhea. And I remember sitting and just crying. I called in at work to tell them that I won't be able to come to work because I have a crisis. I was not going to be able to go to work. So then, just after processing my emotions and everything, I decide that, you know what, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to fight for my relationship. I am going to show him that he doesn't need anyone else but me. He doesn't need anyone else. So on Valentine's Day, I decided to go to his place, spend Valentine's Day there. I get there now, and obviously the atmosphere and everything between us has changed since he dropped the bomb on me. And yes, but anyway, I get there now. First thing I see is his lock screen. His lock screen is a picture of him and that girl. Immediately, like, and my mood changes. I'm off. I'm just, I regret this. Anyway, we go to bed, and I have this dream of myself checking his phone. And when I wake up, I do exactly that. So I go through his phone and I see that girl is they're expecting a bundle of joy. And I go through their chats and the way they're speaking, I come to a realization, good to know this is the girlfriend. Not me, I'm not the girlfriend. This is his girlfriend. Like the way he spoke to her, the way like the conversations they were having. So then I go to the gallery. The girl Ugwele in the gallery, like she's Ugwele, and there's no sign of me, pictures of us gone, wiped out. And so it seems like his family knows the girl, and see as there's pictures of the girl and his brother. There's like she's full there in the gallery, and I come to a realization that yeah, you're not the girlfriend, she's the girlfriend. So while I'm still digesting that with they're expecting a bundle of joy, I find out that there's another woman in the picture that he's busy with at work. And I had to like keep it together because I was on a mission. And then while also digesting that, there's two other girls. As in it was a lot. That day was a lot for me. I'm having flashbacks right now. It was a lot. So now I don't know what to do. I'm processing everything. I'm thinking good, okay, mind you guys, I've been with this guy for almost 2 years. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, so has he been lying to me this whole time? This whole time he had a girlfriend. There were signs. I ignored the red flags. There were doubts, there were signs. I remember some weekends when he went home, he would not have network. He would have network issues. Like literally almost all those weekends. And all those weekends I would literally like have a hard time. And this whole time he was with this girl, because I remember, so on his gallery I was checking timelines, and all those times he had network issues, he was with her, literally. And there was this one time when he answered the phone like he was talking to his friend, and I was like, why is he talking to me like that? He was with the girl, and he would block me every time he's with her. I'm now realizing everything. But anyway, guys, there was this girl that I was talking to, and she was telling me that, girl, you're gonna go back and forth, you're gonna struggle, this and this is gonna happen, but eventually you will pull yourself towards yourself. You can do it. And guys, I just want to tell you, it's not like an easy process. No one is gonna understand what you're going through. No one's gonna know how you feel. So just have grace, be patient with yourself, don't judge yourself. It's okay. Like if you still find yourself going back and forth, like this is what happened to me. I found myself going back and forth. I struggled to cut contact because I was still attached. It was not an easy journey, but eventually I promise you, you will get it. You will pull yourself towards yourself. I am speaking from experience. I went through all of this, the whole process, and I also reached a point where I got angry at him. At first, I was kind of like chilled about it, and then I got to a phase where I got angry, and then right now, I would say I just want peace and calmness in my heart. I do not want to carry resentment in my heart or hold that unforgiveness in my heart. I just want to put all of this behind me. Healing isn't always graceful. Sometimes healing looks like breaking down over something small because it triggers something big. Let the tears come out. Let yourself cry. That's your body creating space for peace. It be like that sometimes. So there was a point where I was in deep desperation for healing because I couldn't handle the pain. I couldn't deal with the pain, which was during the time where I would pray to God, and I don't know how TikTok knows what you're going through, but I would bump into content that I relate to on TikTok, and I would see fasting videos and stuff, and I saw this lady was talking about the Esther fast. That grabbed my attention, and I was like, I decided to participate in the Esther fast. I felt like it would be good for me, I would fast for healing, forgiveness, and just for God to put me together so that everything can go back to normal, because I just don't like the feelings and the emotions that I'm going through. So I decide on the Esther fast, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna do it. I'm not yet sure. I'm not yet fully decided on doing it, but I'm really thinking about doing it. So I try to plan it out, and I asked myself, will I be able to fast for 72 hours straight without eating? I modify it to 6 a.m., 6 to 6, but still, I'm not sure. It's not confirmed. So the next day, on Tuesday, the next week on Tuesday, a friend of mine invited me to home cell. So in home cell, we were reading Romans. So he said, I'm paging through the Bible looking for the book of Romans. I land on the book of Esther, and I'm like, whoa, but I'm like, no, man, I'm paging through the Bible. I'm bound to land on something. So I don't pay too much attention to it, but it's still in the back of my mind to see, was that a coincidence? Or so cool. Next day, I'm in a taxi. I'm getting off at my stop. As I pass to get out, I peek at this lady's phone. She's on her Bible app, and guess what book she's reading? The book of Esther. And I'm like, no, this can't be a coincidence. I hear you, God. I will get into it. So the next day, I start my 3-day fast. First day of my 3-day fast, my Esther fast, and I am reading the book of Esther. So the next morning, I am reading my Bible. I managed to read book 1 and 2 of Esther, and I got up and I get off at my stop. So the distance from that stop to work is 20 minutes. So I'm like, let me look for a sermon to listen to on my way to work, while making my way to work. So I remember, this sermon comes to mind that I once saw on TikTok a long time ago, probably last year, where Sarah Jakes was talking about being the other woman or the other woman. It comes to mind. It just randomly comes to mind. I'm like, that is perfect. So I go onto YouTube and I search Sarah Jakes sermon, The Other Woman. A sermon by Sarah Jakes comes up, Boundaries and Becoming. So I click onto it. I'm like, this must be it. I click onto the sermon, and the first thing she says was, when I was preparing for the sermon, I read the book of Esther 1 to 3, and I'm just like, what? I just finished reading that. I was like, oh, okay. So in the sermon, she unpacks the chapters 1, 2, 3, and wow, all I can say was wow. Literally, that was speaking to my situation. Just a brief explanation of what happens in Esther 1 to 3. So in the beginning, the king summons Vashti to display her beauty, only wearing a crown in front of the people and his nobles, and Queen Vashti refuses. This is a sign of Queen Vashti having strong boundaries, and the whole sermon was talking about boundaries, and I feel like God was trying to communicate the message of boundaries to me. When it comes to the situation, there was so much more insight that I got. So I think what Queen Vashti did was very brave and commendable. Love without boundaries can create so much heartbreak and trauma. Love without boundaries will have you in a relationship with someone that speaks negatively towards you, with someone that doesn't see your value, someone that doesn't value you. I was forced into a situation, or a circumstance rather, that put me in a position where I had to forcefully pull out the boundaries inside of me that I haven't yet created. I don't think I had boundaries. I'm still working on it, but I think I'm doing so much better. So I was put in a situation where I had to pull out the boundaries inside of me that I haven't yet created. God was making a demand on the woman inside of me, not the other woman that was made to feel less than, not the other woman that was lied to, that was gaslit, that was made second choice. God was encouraging me to pull out the other woman inside of me. That other woman says no. That other woman stands her ground. That other woman leaves the toxic relationship. That other woman decides that she does indeed have dignity. Now, before I decided to invite God into my circumstance, I felt so low about myself. I felt like I didn't have any value. I felt like I wasn't worthy. And God changed my perspective. He set me free from unforgiveness, anger, and these negative feelings that I had about myself. He did more than just defend me. It's time for me to embrace that other woman inside of me. That other woman is carrying the rest of my worth. She's carrying the rest of my value and my strength. And the only way to create an environment for that woman to come forward, God says, I'm going to have to do that with boundaries. Boundaries was the key word in this whole message that God is trying to communicate to me. So what Vashti did by refusing the king's order, she was risking her place at the table. She was willing to lose a place at the table to preserve herself. To have boundaries is to say, I am willing to lose my seat at the table in order to preserve myself, rather than waiting to see what's gonna happen for me here, which is what I did in this relationship that I just left. I waited and waited for him to be fully ready to love me the way that I loved him. I was very understanding. I thought that he was not yet capable, maybe because of past hurts, only to find that he is indeed capable, and all that love that I'm waiting for from him, he's giving to someone else. There was this powerful message that Sarah J said in her sermon, that If God is calling you away from something, there is a woman better suited for that position where He's calling you from. Therefore, I cannot look back and feel some type of way towards the girl because she managed to get what I couldn't get from him. Okay, God needs her there for that season instead of me. Kind of like Esther, God needed Esther to be queen for that season so that she can save her people. That doesn't mean that I wasn't good enough or that I didn't have any value or worth. To anyone that is going through a healing process right now, I say to you, you got this, girl. It's not easy, but you can do it. It gets better. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. You will eventually pull yourself towards yourself. You will get through this. You deserve better. You deserve to be treated with respect and dignity and love. And I hope that you heal beautifully and you'll be okay. You'll be okay, girl. You got this. You got this, and you are loved. I guess we have come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching till the end. And yeah.